there were moments in which you showed me glimpses or like a window into something else, um, around maybe the things that you still want to improve on, or the things that you're still insecure about, or that you think that, you know, maybe you're not too happy with yourself that you have that as a part of who you are. So within that framing, like I would really love to understand like what made Tomas.
I mean, that parts of insecurities or things we want to improve, I think it's parts of almost everyone. The difference is if you are admitting or working on that things. Um, I'm gonna go deeper in who you are later, but just for answering your question, uh, if we go, if we look backwards to my life, like into my childhood, I'm the first son of my dad's. Uh, I don't know how to say nieto.
Grandson.
I'm the first grandson of all my grandparents, and so I get a lot of attention in my life when when I born, obviously, and a lot of people telling me that I'm really good in whatever I do. Doesn't matter if I was doing it okay or not, and I think like that's one a really important thing, like developing my confidence over life. Um, and then when telling a bit more about myself, like when I started like primary school, uh, I was really motivated on doing things. Uh, I think that that's really important. Something of the first things you do on your life you are good at, probably gonna be a really good step on thinking that you are good and you can do whatever you want.
So true.
And that's what happened to me. Like when I started primary school, I was like really intelligent, maybe. Like was the best student of my class. Uh, I started competing on Olympiads on mathematics and on computer science when I was 10 years old. And I remember that when I was even younger, I was waiting for in that age to being able to compete, uh, like really confident and really like hurried to try to be the best. So in the meanwhile, I was trying to be the best in my class in whatever I do. I was also since I'm really young, I have been doing a lot of sports. I did whatever. I played football, I played tennis, I played basketball. Uh, I tried everything. I used to spend most of my time in the sport club, like from just spending the morning on the school and the rest of the day, like with my friends playing sports. And I was very good at tennis also, like the best of my age in my region in the ranking. So I think that that developed a lot of confidence in me. And also made me like being really young, being a bit arrogant maybe, but not maybe I was, uh, and that wasn't a good thing at all. Obviously, people wasn't really comfortable with me being a really young guy, and I remember that a lot because I had a lot of situations when that hurts me. I'm really lucky to have really good two parents, but really good. My mom and my dad have been really important in my life.
That's amazing.
Yeah, a month ago was the 50th birthday of my mother, and I wrote her a card, a card, and I was putting that's the thing that I am saying into words, like in a lot of situations in my life when maybe the easiest solution to my problems were just saying that I was right and the world was wrong would have been the easiest. They used to stop me, trying to make me feel a bit better by trying to ask me questions that made me not to feel comfortable at all, and trying to understand how can I improve, trying to put myself in the shoes on the people I have in front of me, and trying to.
That's amazing,
That's
Tomas.
really amazing. That's really important. Uh, I think it seems like an obvious thing, but it's really like difficult to in a child to make him or her understand that he has a lot of more control in his or her life than he thinks. Obviously, you don't have control of all the variables, but to a lot of them. Um, and I think that was really important because at that moment I understood that it was not only how talented I was or how intelligent I was, but how do I react to challenging moments, whatever does it mean, like having a fight with a friend or being in a conflicting team, whatever this type of situations you can have in your life. And that was like one of the most powerful things in my personality, like right now or in all the moments of my life. So going back to the past, you're gonna stop me and doing more questions whenever you want, but going back again to my past, uh, when I joined secondary school, like high school, I changed my school from the last one, and I joined a one that was like more difficult than the previous one. And at the same time, I was playing tennis and basketball, like the two things. I was really, really good at tennis, and I was not good at all at basketball. Uh, and that's it was the first like challenging situation, like not being good at all in something I was doing, like playing basketball. It was really, really bad. I remember that in the first year playing basketball, we traveled to the south of Argentina with the team to play, and it was really, really frustrating not being good at all. And in the bus coming back to Cordoba, I was like alone, crying on the bus, just because I was frustrated. Uh,
I mean, frustration is really tough.
yeah, and I took a really weird decision at the time. I don't remember why I did it, but the final decision was quitting on tennis, what I was good at, and going all in on basketball. um, um, maybe a few. I don't remember what it was exactly because I really, really like young, but I get like really motivated trying to be as good as possible as a basketball player. And I also there was a moment that I remember with a lot of clarity when I told myself that I wanted my life to be interesting in whatever it was really a really abstract thought, but this the essence on that thought that I want to be proud of me. I want to participate in good projects, being proud of my work, being an important person, trying to meet a lot of really, really cool people, and have fun. So in that moment, like the way of doing that was being a basketball player, and I put my soul on that. Like in summer, when I was not doing nothing on high school or other things, I used to wake up at 6 or 7 a.m. in the morning just to go myself to the club, to the court, and start shooting all the morning, and then going to the gym, and then going to train with or play with my friends basketball again, going to a nutritionist to try to improve my body. They really focus being just a 14 years old guy, 13 years old guy. Uh, Obviously, it was a frustrating part of my life also because I am not really talented at basketball. I'm not that bad, but I'm not as good for people to think, okay, you're maybe being someone on basketball. But I grew a lot. Um, I achieved to be kind of a professional player when I was 15. Not because I was being paid, but some of the people in the team were being paid, and I was playing like in the first division of the club. My first match was when I was still 15, and I cannot describe how proud I was about myself, like having to go through an entire process, being not good at this, being really frustrated for a lot of time, like from the guy like 12 years old or maybe 10 years old guy who come back crying on the bus to the 15 years old playing professionally, and I maybe I get like I'm thinking out loud, but maybe I get a bit addicted to that.
I understand that.
Um, but when I was 16, like the next year, I was still going all in on basketball. But the pandemic happened. Coronavirus comes down, quarantine. We were all in our houses. I had a lot of time to do things. So in the previous month, I was like paying a lot of attention to some really young Argentinian entrepreneurs that were doing really cool stuff on software and robotics. And I had a really arrogant thought of, okay, they don't have anything I don't have. I can do the same. And that wasn't that wasn't true. That wasn't true. I didn't even know how to program an app. My fathers are farmers. I was in a 30,000 people small town in the middle of nowhere in Cordoba. Like, who the fuck I was going to like? But I started to uh, just sit it down in my computer, going to the internet and just searching how can I create an app and going from there. And I was like a year and a half trying to create my own mobile applications. I gave a talk recently on my town again, and I described that period as
That's beautiful. That's a
frustration
full
and
circle moment.
deception. Yeah,
I want to fast track you into the many years in which ultimately you did broke into startups, you
yeah.
crushed it, you grew a lot. What in some ways you've done so much already in this journey, in other ways you're still very young. I'm
Yeah.
curious to understand how you lived this week.
Good question. Um, like I am lucky because I have been in San Francisco before, and I know a lot of people here already. So I have like a view like that I made talking with peers like Nico or other people in Brazil or other different companies. Lichu, who lived here for years because he studied on Stanford. Um, so maybe the main question I'm trying to answer with this week here is, okay, what variables I am optimizing for? Probably is the most difficult question to answer. Because obviously you come here and you get hyped and you want to go all in and create your own company and being as big as possible. But on the other hand, I had experience of friends who live here, go all in as big as possible, get offer from OpenAI, doing Stanford, whatever, and they weren't completely happy. And some decided to come back to Latin America to do something good, also working on startup, being ambitious, going global, but maybe taking a worse decision in the professional way because they value a lot the family time or being in a culture they enjoy more. And I don't have an answer. Probably I'm gonna figure it out on the way. But I'm trying to get as much information as possible. What is the life here? What is the type of people you are with the most of the time? Talking a lot with the guys from Elian, Malu Lopez, Mateo. And I'm really happy about that because I've been having a huge group of peers in the same situation, and we are all really open about this type of insecurities that we all have. Like every time I talk with all of them, they are in similar situations. They don't try to hide that when we talk to each other. So that's one of the things that made me want to come. Enjoying like the path with peers I love. So that's the main thing I was trying to figure out in this trial.
Makes total sense. I mean, like last question, like how would you describe this program to future fellows?
There was an interesting situation like a few weeks ago when after a call, like one of the Zooms we did for all the fellows, you called me asking for feedback. And we started to talk about Tomas' word, that he was really convinced that he didn't want to come to live here. And he accepted an offer. He was coming to live here. it's really difficult to understand how different you feel here. The amount of synergy, like everybody gonna tell you about that, but it's impossible to understand it until you come. So it doesn't really matter the decision you take right now being in the program, but it's a life-changing event. Like being in the city, and it's not the same just coming on your own with no connections, not knowing anybody, than coming to this program and like meeting a lot of really cool people, getting offers, like changing your life in a networking side and in a mentality side forever. And it doesn't matter. You shouldn't like take a decision right now that you want to come, but that idea and the knowledge of that you have that possibility maybe, and that the thing's gonna be different here, and maybe you are not feeling like you are in the right place in your town, in your city, surrounded with your peers. If life changing, because if you feel that, it's a really high probability that you're gonna feel understood here, uh, and your life could change forever with that.
Thank you.